I want to hear a little bit about the Jelly Roll collab because it's like the biggest thing in your life right now. I would say, or one of them, right? Like, how did that? I got the pleasure of meeting Jelly Roll last night. He's potentially one of the sweetest, most positive, incredible people, both in the personality that he puts out online in legislature for addiction and the way he speaks about that community, but also in real life. I mean, meeting him last night was incredible. What has that experience been like for you?
My favorite time I've had with him was going to the Juvenile that he was locked up in. Me and him went there. I walked in immediately. The officer that had locked him up was the officer there, and so he's telling me all these stories about Jelly. I love this one story where he was like, "Man, I locked Jelly up one time, and he was in that cell right there, and he just wouldn't talk for days. And then I just went up to him and was like, you know, what's wrong, Bubba? And he was like, man, I just miss my mama." Aww. And the Jelly that you know now, but then sitting in those, you know, in those cells with all the kids and imagining 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old Jelly in there, the inspirational kind of that feeling of watching this man now smiling, wearing all these diamonds, being the man, seeing, you know, the kinship between him and that officer now, seeing the respect that all the kids have for him. I mean, it was an out-of-body experience because that's how a lot of people are when they come with me to Cleveland, right? And they're always like, man, there's just city just loves you so much. I just don't get it. What? And so I got to experience that with Jelly, and Jelly's even more intense just because of his prison sentence, right? And so, and then we just went into the different pods, and I just whooped all the kids' asses on spades. My bad. But
what about the project?
The song. I mean, that was one. You know, when I was in the back of a pickup truck with Baze, Charlie Handsome, who's a really big producer, especially in the country world. We were at Jeff Basker's house. Jeff Basker is a producer. He did like fucking. He's a drum god, right? He's the reason why. I don't know if it was Yeezus or Beautiful Dark Twisted Fate. He was the reason why those drums sounded the way they did. It was Yeezus, right? Yeah, those drums, which. My God, like that was that Basker sound, and so. We were up there recording, and he was like, you guys want to go to the beach? We're like, yeah, let's just get out the studio for a little bit. And we just hopped on the back of a pickup truck, and we're riding down the road. And we were like, man, there's no one out here or whatever. And, you know, Bay just starts going, country road. And then it just, for whatever reason, because there was no one out there, we were just like, lonely road, take me home. And we got to the beach, and we were like, hey, remember that? We were just doing a pickup. That was kind of fire. Like, should we try that? So we went back to the studio. We did it. And when I say we did it, we did like 4 lines or something, and then moved on to another song. I knew there was something really special there, but that song is also one of the great, like Country Roads is one of the greatest songs.
It's incredible.
All time.
We have jammed out to that song for years to the highest degree at the craziest moments. There's never a bad time to play that song.
Which is why I was so precious with it, which is why I took 2 years changing the key so many times, going for a frequency that would resonate when you hear it, right? So like at first, my voice is really low. It's very baritone. So like the keys were lower. It would be F sharp, or it would, you know, I was just going for lower keys, and it never, every time it came on, I'd be like, and I kept pushing for it. And then, you know, Jelly and I had a kinship because me and him used to beef. We didn't fuck with each other at all. This is like 12 years ago or something like that. And we had become friends. And he and I at the same time during the Tickets to My Downfall, you know, he and I had talked, and he was like, dude, I'm really inspired by you doing this. Like, I'm going to tap into country, like where my roots are from. Like that, this feels right. You kind of open this whole door up. And I was like, okay, Jelly will be great for the song. I wouldn't tell him though, because he's a country dude, and I didn't want to tell anybody that I was flipping country roads because they would be like, fuck off.
Yeah. Not doing it.
So anyway, I worked the guitar over and over again because I was like, I can't come out with this country. It can't be like blatant country. Now it's funny because Post in the past 2 years, while I was doing Lonely Road, Post did this, and so the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, fucking people are gonna fucking say that I'm just
dick riding,
following this, you know, like, and I had to like humbly sit there while for years I've been curating this song, no, like knowing that I'm gonna get like I'm gonna have to fight against something here, but I'm in the car with Jelly after the Grammys, right? We both lost the Grammys, and I know he's feeling down or whatever, so I call him. I'm like, "Where are you at?" He's like, "Man, I'm rolling over here. Like, come meet me." So I go meet him. He and I get in his car, which is so funny. He's driving himself. I'm like, "You drove yourself to the Grammys, dude?" He's like, "Man, I'm so white trash. I can't get it out of me, man."
Just like street parking.
Dude, we were parallel parking. I mean, we were pulling up to parties, like looking for parking spots. and he's the biggest act of the night, you know, besides like Taylor Swift or something, you know, like we were just like, so, and this is true. Like, it's so funny. We rode by the Chateau and I was like, oh, there's a big line there. It's probably a party. We should go there. Dude, we were up and down the street. We parked far as fuck.
No
like
way.
up this, yeah. I was like, we could just valet. He's like, nah, we'll park this up here, blah, blah, like,
he ain't changed at all.
At all. And so I'm in the car with him and I get the aux cord, and dude, that same thing like that took over when it told me to black out my tattoos, or when it told me like Tickets to My Downfall is the name. Like when it, like those moments of when the universe is telling you something, it told me play Lonely Road, like the demo of Lonely Road. I pressed play and he was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Man, it's just calling you." And he was like, "I'm on it."
Sick.
And then he got on it, and then I made him recut it 8,000 more times because I was so precious with the Country Roads flip, and we were doing it in different keys. And then, yeah, I mean, dude, I just want people to know I really, really was cautious with the way that we flipped it. And I also didn't want to make it an American landscape song, like how John Denver, like, you know, speaks on the Chattanooga and all these just beautiful things. Like, he already did that. So I needed to make it my own. And I think the way that I did it, it can, you know, I explained this a little bit in the video I posted, but it's not a heartbreak song. It's a conversation with yourself. Like, none of it is like to your partner, which it comes across like you're talking to someone, but it's all like talking to yourself. So if you go back and listen to it from that perspective, it's actually really cool.
Hey guys, if you like that clip, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see more zany clips, click the video right here.